Loved ones still hoping and praying for good news as crews carry out this rescue mission at the site of the collapse.
And our team coverage begins with Local 10's Roy Ramos, live now from the scene. Roy.
Calvin and Nicole, and we are standing just a block away from the Champlain Towers South, the building that partially collapsed. And I'm sure right behind me you can see this heavy plume of smoke. As you mentioned, on one hand, these fire rescue crews are having to deal with this weather. When that weather subsides, they are dealing with what you're looking at right here behind me. Portions of this building igniting in fire, and then they are having to focus their attention on putting that fire out before they can continue those search and rescue efforts. As all of this is going on, heavy machinery now coming in to help in those search efforts, and we are seeing the community come together in the midst of this crisis, hopeful that people will be found alive. With more than 24 hours that have passed and a search continuing for survivors believed to be trapped beneath the rubble, a sign of hope.
I saw them looking over the rubble. I saw them hovering over the certain rubble. So if there is hope, if there are some noises, that's hope.
A memorial with flowers and pictures of loved ones who have lost their lives and others still missing now grows just a block away from the collapse.
What were they thinking in those 10 seconds that they had of life? They reach over to their husband, to their loved one, to their grandma, to their son, to their anything. Did they reach over? Did they say, I love you? Did they say, this is it?
Urban search and rescue crews with Miami-Dade Fire persistent in their efforts as they work around the clock, meticulously sifting through the debris by hand and tunneling their way through the destruction.
They could be your mom, they could be your sister, they could be anybody that you love.
Leo Soto still searching for his friends Nikki Langsfield and Louis Sadovnik, a young couple with their entire lives ahead of them.
They were going to have kids, they were going to grow up together, their kids were going to have kids, and all that came to an end on seconds.
Like many directly affected and even those who didn't know anyone in the Champlain Tower, Soto overwhelmed with emotion, but hopeful this memorial will bring just that, hope. Hope that his friends and others will be found alive, but with each hour that passes, the death toll rises, and so does the number of people who loved ones still have yet to hear from. Those unaccounted for, now at 159 people.
First responders are going in through tunnels. They're working from the top, they're working from the bottom. It has to be done very, very carefully. They can't dislodge pieces of debris that could injure them in the process.
Neighbors and relatives watching as crews work through the rain and smoke, now fighting fires that sporadically ignite beneath the pile of concrete and twisted metal.
These are the best first responders in the world. These are the ones that are sent to trouble spots. They've been to 9/11, they've been to Haiti, they've been wherever there is a disaster, and they are bringing that expertise to bear right here.
And as we come back out live, you can see the expertise of those first responders as they stand on the top of that pile of rubble. You can see them through the obscurity of that smoke that just plumes from one of the stories there that seems to be back on fire. The medical examiner did identify 3 of the 4 people who have died in all of this. And as you may have heard in our earlier newscast, one of the people who was taken to the hospital did lose his life following those injuries and following after being transported, I should say, to that hospital. We're going to continue to follow the situation out here. We also heard from Governor Ron DeSantis, though. He told us that they are very grateful for all of the charities that have come forward. However, they will still be receiving some assistance from FEMA for those families that have been displaced and for those families who are now waiting to hear if their loved ones are alive.
Roy Ramos, live for us in Surfside. Roy, thanks a lot for that reporting.